There you go. What's up, Jeremy? How you doing? Jeremy? 1 second, guys. Jeremy's coming. What's up, Jakub? How you doing? There you go. Jeremy's on. What's up, Jeremy?
I'm on. All right. So let's go ahead. We'll give everybody here about 30 seconds to get back on. I think you control. So let's make sure. Okay. You're recording it. Okay. So we're good. Let me go ahead and turn some lights on for everybody. All right. So this is our VIP session here. So I think there's probably what, 40, 50 of you or something that are in this. I'm not sure. There might be a little bit more. Seems like everybody's forgetting what's going on. So just a couple of announcements. Make sure for tomorrow's training event that starts at 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific that you have the correct Zoom link that was emailed to you. We will also pin it at the top of the Facebook group for tomorrow's training. We will not be going live in the Facebook group tomorrow, okay? So make sure that you are there on the right Facebook group or you miss out on the last training, which I revealed the most on the last training always. The others are just a little bit of a warm up. So make sure you're ready for the training tomorrow because we're going to bring it and we're really going to show you the questioning. Because one thing I think a lot of salespeople don't understand is that they get these objections and they think that if they just have the right rebuttal or the right thing to say that somehow it's going to be overcome. But the objections are really a symptom of the big problem of not creating a gap in the prospect's mind of where they are, their current situation, current state, compared to where they want to be, okay? That's why you have to have the full picture. If you just know how to overcome a few objections, you're just gonna keep getting those and it's gonna be harder for you to overcome them because you haven't helped them see that they even need what you're offering. Now, I wanna introduce the myth, the man, the legend here. This is Marco Cortese. He is our Chief Revenue Officer for all of 7th level internationally, okay, for all of our offices in Sydney, here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and our newest office in Dubai. Okay, over in the Middle East, we just opened up January 1st there. So he's a Chief Revenue Officer, kind of over everything. And I'll tell you a little bit of a background. Marco was a client. What was it, a couple years ago? Something like that?
Yep, it was 4 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, it was right when I started, and that was about 3 years ago, right? Kind of right when we started, three and a half. We always hire clients that understand NEPQ. I don't like to hire from outside. So Marco was a student. He was already doing really well as a salesperson. I think he was trained by Cardone and all those type of guys. I think you were doing decent, like 10, 12 grand a month.
Yeah, I was 10K a month, yeah.
Hustling, making 10 grand a month, came in as a client, went through our advanced, NEPQ 2.0. You guys will have an opportunity to get into that tomorrow for sure, a unique opportunity. We're going to offer some major discounts for those who step up. And he got into our advanced NEPQ 3.0, which is even more advanced, and then eventually our advanced inner circle. And Marco, I believe your commissions went from like 10, 12 grand a month to 80 to 90 a month, something like that.
Yeah, so I had different kind of stages, right? And that came to the fact that I started understanding the structure a little bit better. I remember that by day 90, I was already at 30 grand. And after it went to 50. And after I went to the 100, which is my current record.
Yeah. So Marco got up to, in 2020, made over $1 million in commissions. He was selling the same product that he was selling before. He was making 10 to 12 grand. And we saw him because he was a client. So we saw his results because he was, working for a company that we were training. And so we recruited him over here to actually work for us. So you're going to be trained like all of our, today you're going to be trained by me, Marco, both 7-figure commissioned salespeople that made actually more than 7 figures a year in commissions as a W-2 or 1099, not just as selling volume. So Marco, let's start off with you. I know you have something prepared for everybody, and then we're going to open up with everybody's questions about their biggest objections they're getting.
Yeah, so we're gonna this one is a training session, guys. So it's really, really important that I want you 100% focus. I want you in the chat because I got an accent, Jeremy,
I have to say something. I'm gonna make fun of you real quick. So I want you to put yourself in Marco's shoes. He's from Italy. English is his second language. Yes. It's not his first language, but he sells to English-speaking prospects in broken English. And because of NEPQ, went from 10K a month to almost 100,000 a month in commissions, all verifiable. I want you to understand that it's just the right skills, even when there's a language barrier. Okay, keep going, brother.
So the most important part of what we're gonna go through today, guys, is like what's causing what's an objection, number one, right? That's really the most important part. What's causing an objection,
Yeah.
and how to get rid of a concern.
Yeah.
That's the main things. Is the difference between objection and concerns.
Yeah.
Because that helps you to have a better approach to what the prospect is telling you that can possibly not do, right? So the most important things is that, and all this training will come around what Jeremy taught me and what I've studied, because I studied a little bit of psychology, human behavior around it. So I decided to break it down a little bit. So the most important things I've done when I started with Jeremy is how to present the funding of the price for solve that problem.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, if you want to go through that.
Yeah. Well, it's about, okay, here's one thing we have to understand before we open up for Q&A, because that's where it's going to be most of the thing. You're going to say, hey, this is the big objection I get. We're going to show you how to overcome it. We're probably going to show you what actually, how you're triggering it. So you get rid of that. So you never really have it anymore. It's easier not to get any objections at the end. You just have all lay down sales. I'm not kidding. Makes selling so much more comfortable and fun. But what we have to understand is that most people, they go through like a presentation. So they, they get them halfway excited or whatever they do. They go through a presentation and they literally just bore people. They go over this feature and that benefit and this benefit. And they have like this 60-page slide deck of, here's our corporate office. We won this Better Business Bureau award. We have the best customer service. We have the best. And literally, like, I know you notice your prospects just zone out, and then you get, I want to think it over objection at the end. The reason why you're getting I want to think it over objections, or we don't have the budget for this, or I need to check my finances, or, any of those objections is because you're triggering it because you're not getting the prospect to see in their mind. You're not getting them to see, okay, that by changing their situation, all right, that means purchasing your product and service, solving their problems is far less risky for them than them doing nothing at all, staying in the status quo and nothing ever changes. Like, which is more risky? Because you're not learning, because you don't know the right questions yet, okay? You haven't built that gap in their mind from where they are compared to where they want to be. And then you go through your presentation and it's all logical based features, benefits. This is what we do for our clients, and people zone out. So you're actually triggering those objections at the end from even happening. So you're getting people to think more cost or price-based thinking rather than results-based thinking. Okay.
Exactly right.
Once you learn NEPQ, we're going to teach you in our, if you're in what some of you might even be some of our clients, but for ones you're not, if you get into our NEPQ virtual training courses, you have an opportunity tomorrow. We're going to teach you how to get your prospects to think results-based thinking, not cost or price-based thinking. Because if you're getting a lot of cost or price objections, because that's what you're getting them to think. And so what they're doing is they're commoditizing you in their mind. And then you just have to compete with other vendors for the same thing. And they're just checking price, not results. Marco?
Yeah, so the most important things is that you guys need to understand is this, all right? So everyone on a sales call is on a state. What is a state? You either sad, you're either happy, you're either overexcited, which is a problem because if you're overexcited, the other person close up. But the most two important states into a sales call, into the overcoming objection process is you're a state of buyer or a state of non-buyer, right? And that is triggered by three things. Number one is the meaning, which I will explain to you in a second, the language, and the physiology. So meaning, language, and physiology is what shapes the state. So it's what brings a person from a no to a yes. That's what overcoming objection is in science. So you bring in someone to thinking a particular thought that is directed to a value outcome to a completely different line of thoughts that is directed to a different value outcome. So they're thinking, I don't want to buy, to this is my solution. And when I told you guys meaning, language, and physiology is because you have to be able to detect the right objection. So there is two categories of objections, right? So if you got a piece of paper, I want you to write this down. On the left, there is real objection. They try it. Perfect, Alex. You got it. That's exactly what it is. The left, there is a real objection. People, they have three types of concern: money, time, and value. And on the other side, there is something called smoke screen. I need to think about it, to ask my wife, need to ask the CFO, and all those. Jeremy, throw me another one.
I need to check my finance. I need to check my finances.
There you go.
Like all of you know what you have in your finances right now, right? Like everybody knows what you have in your finances, right? It's not like you never check. So that's a smoke screen. So you have to understand the differences. Keep going.
Now, the most important part, and what I've realized between my journey as a sales guy, and I've started selling since I was 15 years old. I'm 28, turning 29. So they always teach me during the days of how to overcome the think about it objection. But that doesn't bring you nowhere, because it's like speaking with someone that is trying to lie to you, right? So that won't bring you to, it will bring you to a tangent. So the main scope for us to be able to overcome the right concern is to understand which one between money, time, and value am I facing right now. And the way how you do that is by problem clarifying. Jeremy, can you give us an example?
Yeah, 100%. I think it'd be good if somebody just gave an example of an objection they got today. Yep. Like post in here, like, hey, I sell this. Like, tell us what industry you're in, and then
how to handle. Send me a quote towards the end of the call, right?
Yeah. I think we just went over that today. Were they on today? Yeah. We went over that on the call today. Yeah.
Perfect, Jeremy. I'm gonna give you that one, right? And you will probe into it. So we can go. So let me go back. Give me a second.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to pull up some notes here because I actually just wrote about that today. So I want to be consistent with you guys here. I actually wrote some notes on that one. So hold on one second. Let's see here. Where are we at? Now, is he saying, hold on. I wish we could bring him out here. Is there a way we can bring them out where we can like ask him some clarifying questions around what
Martin? Okay,
why don't you bring Martin out here real quick? Yeah,
all right, let's bring Martin.
Yeah, let's bring Martin out.
Actually, you know what, Martin? Me, you get a role play. Come here. Come up here, brother. Oh, good. All right. Let's see if Martin's is in here. Martin, 3, 2, 1, should be here.
Okay, so if
there you go.
Yeah, Martin, are you on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey,
yes,
Martin,
I can, Martin.
This is easier for us if we ask you a little around. So what do you sell, Martin?
Today I was selling shoveling services. I'm here in Quebec City. It's cold and snowy.
Okay, so I don't know what your sales process is like, okay, or what you do. I'm assuming you're not one of our clients, possibly yet, but you're saying at the end of the conversation. So what was the beginning of the conversation like? What was the middle of the conversation like?
Yeah, I mean, that was an inbound call, and they asked me to have some semi-trailers to have the snow removed on the top so they can take the road tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So I tried to understand a little bit about, because I mean, we're in Quebec, the company was calling from, I think, Alberta.
Yeah, so you want to take them through connecting questions, situation questions, problem awareness. So you probably don't know what those are yet. You'll know a lot more about that tomorrow. Yeah. But at the end of that conversation, so if they're saying at the end, like, it's really not even really them, shouldn't, like, did they bring it up to you like, hey, can you just send me a quote at the very end? Or did you bring it up that you were going to send them a quote?
Well, I tried to understand the situation because actually they were kind of a middleman for their customer. Okay. And I tried to understand, okay, so who is cleaning these trucks normally? Okay. Because, I mean, we're mid-season, so these trucks have, you know, they moved previously.
So you're selling to a company then. You're not selling to an individual, right? Here-
Well, usually we sell to individual, but I mean,
Right.
this case was particular. So they gave
Okay,
me a
but-
few information, trying to ask about, okay, so how are you gonna pay? So trying to clarify what was in their mind, and they
Okay, but
kind of
here's your problem. If you're selling to a company, I'm assuming that that is not just one decision maker in that company, right? Or is it like?
yeah, that's what I learned, that there was a manager behind that.
Correct.
Can we role play that? All right.
We
Let's do.
can.
That's all right. You don't need to be anxious. We're good. So let's
You'll
do
be the,
this.
you'll
all
be
right?
the prospect. Marco will be
Manny-
the salesperson.
You the man. So let's go. So let's do more of a B2C side, and I will break it down for you as we go. Sorry, let's do a B2B first because that's what might help you tomorrow. All right. And I'll show you how that work. And after we do a B2C, which is more like just if you're selling the individual. Go ahead, Martin. Give me the objection, brother.
Yeah, so could you send me a quotes with, how many mans will be on a job and how long it's going to take and the price, and also a proof of insurance?
That's not a problem. Now we could do that. Now give me an idea. Did you ask for a quote for a reason?
Yeah, I got to send that to my manager, so he's going
Pose.
to look at it.
Okay. Let's pause. That's for everybody. Right. So now what's going through my head is this, right? Is number one, I'm really calm. Because you remember when I told you about state, right? If I'm calm, what is he gonna be? He's gonna relax and he doesn't want to, he's trying to get rid of me. Right? That's that at that point, people are trying to get rid of you. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hold on. He might, that prospect, we didn't hear the call. The prospect might seriously just been asking for a quote as the next
Yeah.
step, right? It's not necessarily an objection. It's just, we have to figure out their decision-making process. So
Yeah,
keep going, Marco.
Yeah, let me get there. So the most important thing is if you're selling B2B into this, right, is to be calm, maintain your state, and understanding this. There is a complex process. So most likely the person in front of you is not in a is not a position to pull a trigger right there and there. So what
That's
you
how it
have to
felt.
do, yeah. So what you have to do is to be able to understand what's the decision-making process for something like this in your company. So Martin, give me back the last things that you just said to me before. Go ahead.
Yeah, could you send me, a quote with, how many mans and how
Yeah.
long it's going to take, and, the price for the job?
Right. That's not a problem. I could do that. Now, you asked that for a reason though?
Yeah, because I got to send it to my manager so he can.
Ah,
look at
okay.
it.
There is a manager. So just so that I can help you out and I can put for you the best quote with, and I can outline everything for him. What's the, let's call it, decision-making process for something like this to fix this particular issue that you mentioned before in your company?
Well, I will try to get, as many quotes as I can, because the job has to be done by tomorrow morning. And
Right.
I'm going to send that to my manager so he can approve it. And after that, we're going to come back to you. And
Now, if we could send this quote to your manager, and you mentioned that you sent a couple of them before, what are the possible obstacles that you feel you might have by seeing something that we might send him?
uh, I don't know. I know that time is an issue. I mean, it's very late
Pause.
notice.
All right. Now, I got to two really good point. Is the manager might be the decision maker, right? And time is the issue. So now I got the real objection. Now there is no sense for me to overcome it with him because he's not gonna solve time for his manager. So what I will do is this. So if you that's really common in company. Now if you open to what we could do, we could organize a chat. I have some time tomorrow. I might be available tomorrow, but we can set up a chat tomorrow with your manager so I can kind of explain the process and how it works so that I can save the time for him and I can make sure that it's something that we offer might be suitable for the problem that you guys have. Would you be open to that?
I can ask him.
What would be the best way?
Let me Yeah, let me put you on hold and I'll try to get a hand on it and see if
Pause.
it's,
Yeah.
Okay. So now he's gonna put on hold. He's gonna call it. We're gonna try to create. I'm gonna try to create some urgency. Jeremy is gonna show you on how to book it there. And after when we jump with the manager, he will understanding if he's decision maker, and then you can sell him from there.
Yeah, and here's one thing I would do a little bit differently too, because I really like that, Marco. So if they said just send me a quote over, yeah, that's not a problem. We can send you a quote over. Now, what are you, just so I understand, what are you hoping to see in the quote, just so we have a better background? Because I want to know that, right? Because he might, oh, I'm looking for time. I'm looking for, we need to have it done by tomorrow. I'm looking for this, right? So that tells me one thing rather than just sending the quote. And then I want to say it like this. Okay, can you walk me through your company's, kind of like Marco just did right there. Can you walk me through your company's decision-making process on solving, things like this, just so we can see the background of that? So when you say, can you walk me through your company's decision-making process to solve challenges or problems like this, that is different than saying, who's the decision maker or who's the other decision maker? Because when I say, can you walk me through, that person's going to say, well, I have to send the quote to my manager. My manager has to review it. He then has to go up to this person. And then that kind of tells me who I need to get involved in this quote. Now, if you're selling something for $20, it's not as complex. It just depends on what you're selling. Does that make sense?
yeah. Could I go a little further with this scenario?
No.
Quick, Marco, we've only got an hour and we've got a bunch.
We got an hour, brother.
We've got a bunch of other questions. Just hold that for now. Be on there tomorrow. We'll see if you can cover that tomorrow. But does that help you starting out? Guys, I'd love to train you guys for 6 hours each, but unfortunately, we might have a lot of other pissed off people that are asking questions.
Sure.
Okay,
Thanks.
Martin.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Let's go. Let me see here. We've got some other ones here. Joseph Meacham said, coaching for students to get into investment banking, too much money. Why don't you bring Joseph Meacham out? Let's talk about that one.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Joseph, you say?
Joseph Meacham. Let's get through this quick. We've got about 44 minutes.
Let's go, Joseph. You can speak now. Go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can, sir. How you doing?
Tell us a little
good,
bit more
thanks.
about what you sell. Besides, I don't understand what you mean by coaching for students. So you're training them how to get them into investment banking?
Yes, it's really competitive, so they need to get into this. And
Hold on. Every industry is competitive. Does anybody know any industries that are not competitive? Is car sales competitive? Is insurance competitive? Is real estate competitive? Anybody know any industries that are not competitive? I'm just giving you a hard time. Keep going.
So the vetting out process to get these college students into an internship and then a job with a big investment bank is very difficult and very challenging. And so what we do is we train them in different aspects of how to interview, clean up their resume, the technology they need to know about, the systems they need to know about, so that when they go for an interview, they're well prepared and they can present themselves really well.
Okay.
Now, usually we interview them and their parents sometimes, and the main objection is it's just too much money.
So you're getting the parents objecting to that or the kid?
Usually the parents, because the parents are paying for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you want to role play it?
Sure. Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want me to be the client?
Yeah.
Well, it certainly looks like a great program, but on top of the college expenses, we just can't come up with another $9,000.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Tell me, if you did have the funds, is this something that would work your son to get him into that high-paying job?
It certainly appears so, yeah.
But hold on, why do you feel like it is though?
Well, it seems very thorough. You have really good people working for you. You've got former investment bankers that have done these interviews.
Sure.
It seems like a really good thing, but on top of college expenses and everything else, another $9,000 is, I just think it's asking a lot.
Well, it just depends on, what type of job you're trying to get your son when he gets out of college. Like, are you looking to get him a job where he starts out at 150, 200,000, 250,000 a year? Or are you just, is he just trying to get a job where he's getting a degree and starts out in 40 or 50 grand a year and has a lot of debt? It just depends on what you're looking for.
The starting salary for most of these kids going into investment banking is between about 120 and 150,000 a year.
Yeah, so it just depends on if you're trying to get your son into a starting salary of 120 to 150 grand, or if you guys are okay with him staying like a normal person that wouldn't have those skills, starting out at 40 or 50. Do you see the difference?
Oh yeah, yeah. We want
And
to
I
get
can, yeah, so it just depends on how much money you want him to make so he can pay off the college debt, right? And I can appreciate that money might be, an issue. Some of our clients have mentioned that before. I guess, how do you think you can resolve that, where you can find the extra funding to put into that training that assures him of getting that 150K job when he graduates?
Yeah, to be honest with you, we have the funds.
Thank you for being honest. That's a good start.
It's just, I just feel, we've been tapped for college, we're tapped for books, we're tapped for everything else. And then on top of everything else, we have this. And frankly, it was kind of a surprise. I didn't expect at the end, of the last year of college that I'd have to fork over another 10 grand.
Well, how's he going to be able to get the skills to land the 150K job if he doesn't have the right skill sets to do that, though?
Part of it is, if it could guarantee he'd get the job, I would do it. But, there are no guarantees.
Well, according to our clients, when they go through the training, they learn those skills. Are you guys open to putting him through that training so he has the right skills? Because what happens if he doesn't have the right skills and then tries to go out and get the job?
He might be able to do it. But you guys do such a good job with this that, I'd really like him to have it.
Well, hold on though. What other avenues do you have to find the funding so he can actually have the skills that guarantees him that success, though?
It's really, we can afford it. We can afford the funding. We can afford to pay for it. It's just, like I said, it hurts to fork over another $10,000 after.
Well, you tell me. Yeah, you tell me. What hurts the most? Is it more risky for you guys to put the funding in that assures him the right skill sets and training day number one to land those other high-paying jobs like our clients are doing? Or is it more risky for him not to have those skills, and then he goes in the job market and doesn't get a good job, and then he has all that debt? Which is more risky for you guys in the end, though?
Honestly, it's probably more risky that we don't do this.
Yeah. What do you want to change that?
Yeah.
Okay. So time to make a change, possibly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Joseph, what did you get out of that, Joseph?
A lot. It was just, there was, it was like being led down a path, a channel or a creek where it's the next step. It's the next step. And it just, the one thing I noticed was that it just didn't apply any pressure.
Yeah.
Because if you put pressure on a prospect, what do? They emotionally shut down, and it's over. You're going to get, you get 1 out of 20, 1 out of 10, but with what we train you in our virtual training courses, that's every sale. Like that sale is probably a preventable objection, but if you do get it, that's what we teach you how to do. We teach you the right tonality, the right cadence, the right questions are really important. Did you notice that one question I asked you, Joseph? And I want you to think about how you thought about it in your mind. When you said, yeah, but I've got this and I just hate to have the money. And I simply said, well, how is he going to, it's the how-to question. Well, how's your son going to land the job at 150K a year salary if he goes into interview and doesn't even have the right skills to land the job? When I asked you that question, what did that get you to think?
It was the gap right there. It was like, oh, okay, if we don't do this, the consequences are dire.
I
know,
got
it-
you to think results-based thinking
Mhm.
over price-based thinking.
Yes,
Does everybody see how that works?
yeah.
Okay, that was good.
And
Well done.
I want to add one thing, right? Which is one of the most important because we talk about it before about state of bias, state of non-bias. Like Jeremy, you were saying the line, what's more risky, right?
Which is more risky?
Risky. So that particular line there is what changes thinking, price-based thinking to what? Value-based thinking, because that value proposition is around the $9,000. Because the language of Joseph,
Yeah.
which of course was doing the role play, was around we can't. It's too much.
Yeah,
And
he wasn't
compared to what?
thinking,
And
he
compared to
wasn't
what?
thinking results-based thinking at that point. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. He was thinking $9,000 out of my 401k or out of my checking account. In that 5-minute part that I did with him, he started thinking, okay, the 9,000 is going to go to my son to make 150 grand a year and be able to pay off debt, and my son's not going to struggle. And now 9,000 seems pretty low compared for his son not to have to financially struggle in his life. Who wouldn't pay that?
Yeah.
See?
Mhm.
So the whole things, guys, is as you can see, the tonality of Jeremy influenced the language, like Joseph was saying, of making sure that there is not pressure into an environment where you change in state.
Yeah.
That language and tonality is years of experience, but is also part of what NEPQ builds. That's why we ask question on the start. When people tell you trusted advisor, guys, trusted advisor, it's not that you say you're a trusted advisor, you become one. Is you asking the right question that allows you to have the right tonality, so you have the right language and the right meaning.
Yeah. And it's even far more than becoming a trusted advisor. Like, I want you guys, like in our virtual training courses, we teach you how to become much more than a trusted advisor. An advisor is good, but if you want to be great, we teach you how to become trusted authorities in your market, the trusted expert, where people view you as, oh, that person solves those problems. Like you are the go-to person. That's what we train you, the right questioning skills where people view you in that space,
Yeah.
which dramatically reduces your objections because they view you as having a higher status. So when we first go into a sales call, we have to be on at least the status of the prospect. If we come onto a call or an appointment and they view us as a lower status, meaning we're nervous, we have anxiety, we're really pushy, they view us as what? Just another salesperson trying to sell them something, and your status goes down. That triggers fight or flight mode where they try to get rid of you. So when we get in the call, we have to learn the right connecting questions asked in the very beginning, where we at least come in at their status. Now, throughout that conversation, that first call, discovery call, whatever it is, demo, second call, third call, proposal, whatever you do, okay, we have to get them to start viewing us at a higher status than them. When they start to view us as a higher status, they look at us as the authority figure to get them the results they want. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's one thing is also I want to explain another part of what Jeremy did is when he asked, what other funding do you have? Right? Now, that question himself is something that in psychology is called perception, intent, and value. And the main things that trigger that into a prospect, I will explain you where it is the perception to be helped to solve a problem rather than being pushed to make a decision.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so
The
let's go.
intent-
Keep going.
Yeah, the intent is to be able to have the prospect to come closer to you and say, well, I do have X, Y, and Z, and the value is to achieve the sale.
Yeah.
And that comes from language.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to answer another question. Adam's posted this a couple of times. Hi, I sell windows and doors, B2C direct sales. Very early in the meeting, people will say very early in the meeting, we've got a few quotes booked in, a couple companies coming out in the next couple of weeks. Before we can make our final decision, we can't make a decision today. Okay, so I want to make sure everybody understands. He doesn't even need to come on. I can answer this real quick because we train a ton of companies in the space. I've trained salespeople in your space, Adam, just so you know, that make 70 grand a month in commissions.
It's Aussie.
Or no, that's American, 70 grand a month in commissions.
No, Aussie there.
Oh, is he an Aussie? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we train tons of companies that crush it in your space. When you get that, it's because there's something you're saying in the beginning that's triggering them to feel like you're there selling them. I want to make sure you understand that. Okay. If they still give you that objection, hey, Jeremy, just wanted to let you know, like, we've got a bunch of quotes from 3 or 4 other companies coming in over the next week. We're not going to be able to make a decision today. You have to disarm them. You can't just ignore it, like, oh, okay, and go through your whole thing. And then at the end, they're like, well, hey, I need to get 3 more quotes. We'll call you later. You can't be like a pansy like that. You got to take control. You got to be the authority, but you also can't sweep it underneath the rug, ignore it. And you also can't try to overcome some crazy objection. You first have to disarm them. You have to disarm them. So if they say, yeah, we just got a bunch of quotes that are going to come next week, there's no way to make a decision today, you just say, yeah, that's not a problem. And you know, to be frank, I'm not quite sure we could even help you yet. You know, we'd have to know and understand a little bit more about what type of windows you have now and kind of what that gap is, like what problems you have, if any, and then really what you're looking for. Now, at that point, once we understand a little bit of those details, I can go through some of the different options that we have, because maybe there's nothing we can do for you in the first place. Are you okay with that? Oh yeah, okay. And it immediately disarms the prospect. Now, here's what you have to do, Adam. If you just keep going through your regular things you do in your pitch, I guarantee you, you're still going to get that objection at the end. You literally have to learn connecting questions, situation questions, problem awareness questions, solution awareness, consequence question. And I'm pretty sure about 80% of the time when you get to the end, they're not going to give you that objection, okay? Because you've done something that no other salesperson that's already quoted them could ever do. And that's brought out their emotions and their feeling side, even with windows, okay? So you got to learn those skills if you want to be able to not get that objection at the end. But to disarm them, you just say, yeah, John. And to be frank, I'm not even sure, you know, I'm not quite sure we can even help you yet. You know, we'd have to know a little bit more about the type of windows you have now and kind of what problems you're experiencing, if any, and then really what you're looking for to see if we can even help you in the first place, because maybe you don't even need us. Are you okay with that? And I'm telling you, watch how their freaking demeanor just drops, and it's like taking a knife and cutting through warm butter. It's just really easy to sell at that point. Hopefully that answers this question. Okay, let's keep going, Marco.
Well, one question that I've seen, because we trained one of the biggest non-for-profit on the planet. So Sean,
the healthcare company.
yeah. So Sean has a non-for-profit. When he does approach people. Okay, so you gotta jump on because this one is fairly complicated. Give me a second.
Okay, we're only going to give him about 4 to 5 minutes because we've got other people that are wanting to get on. Okay,
absolutely.
Let's go ahead and jump Martin and Joseph. Let's go ahead and have them jump off so we have space here. No, keep them on, but just take them off the Zoom. They can obviously stay on.
Let's go.
Sean. Thank you, Martin and Joseph. Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Sean.
No better at all.
Yeah, so I have a nonprofit. We fund inner city athletic departments. They're shutting down at like an astronomical rate. A lot of the people I talk to, hey, we love your cause, love the success you've had, love some of the name people you have and companies on board. But hey, you know what? My focus is, breast cancer. Had a cousin that passed away from it. So that's normally where our funds go. Ford, I'm in Detroit. So Ford, hey, our pillars are X, Y, and Z. This isn't really one of our key focuses.
Hold on, Sean, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Why do you think you're getting that objection?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the way it's presented.
Wait, what do you think? Here's what I'm asking, because that's you got a good cause, obviously, right? So it seems like people would be interested, but it's typically what we're saying or not asking that's triggering that type of an objection to happen, where they're trying to get rid of you by saying, we just donate only to these causes. Because I'm assuming if they wanted to, they could donate to your cause too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know some big organizations, because of the amount of requests they get, specifically break down to, hey, these are specific pillars to weed out a lot of the asks.
But that could also change if they felt that there was more of a need, though, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, of course, right? Anything could change. It's not like they're some dictators telling them never invest in the inner city, right? So, your question is a little bit harder for us because we don't know what you're saying. We don't know what you're asking in your sales process that's triggering that, if that makes sense. How do you get them to see, what problem do you feel like you solve for them in your mind? Like, what problem do you solve for them?
For a donor,
Yeah.
I mean, aside from, the traditional tax write-offs and all that stuff.
That's not a problem you solve. That's small.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, the biggest thing that we do is we create an opportunity for these students to stay off the streets and put their time into positive.
Yeah, but that solves their problem. How does it solve the donor's problem? I want you to think a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I guess I don't have a direct answer for you at the moment.
Yeah.
That could be a problem. You're solving an emotional need. Does that make sense? You're solving an emotional need. 100%. It's just like if I want to buy a Lamborghini, that's not really solving a problem of going from point A to point B. I could drive a used Honda to do that, right? But if somebody's buying a Lamborghini, they're doing it they want to have a higher status in their mind. They want to show people how successful they are. They want neighbors to know that they've made it. That's solving an emotional need. With what you're selling, you're also selling an emotional need to a prospect to feel that they are doing their part to help these people get where they want to go. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. Marco, you're going to say something.
Yeah, I want to say something. Do you know what an identity cell is, Sean?
Could you clarify that?
Yes. Of course I will.
Good question.
Yeah. So an identity cell means this, right? Is when you sell something that is a commodity kind of things, right? For example, like Jeremy was doing the example of the Lamborghini. Why people buy Lamborghinis is because they want to go around and say, I've got a Lamborghini. So they want to become something, right? So they want to become an identity. So they achieve what? A status. Now, when someone, like, for example, you can go and try to sell Bill Gates into this, right? If he would tell you that he invests in probably millions of causes around the planet, but it's what he represents, they will keep getting to donate money for people, right? So that's your sell right there. It doesn't matter the cause of what they're donating right now, is what they want to become by donating to multiple causes and help the planet. You see the difference in how you overcome objection into that? Because it's not directed to an outcome for solving a problem, because you don't. All right? But you fulfill an emotional need of giving back to people. So what I will ask when someone, by the way, I think the objection that you're getting as well is to lack of questions before, right?
Your lack of questioning is triggering them to say that.
It's triggering that.
Almost guarantee it, because we train a huge nonprofit health organization in the Midwest. It's the largest in the Midwest. Same thing. Keep going.
But the most important part for you is to drive around an objection, is to make them understand that becoming something that they want to become is not just donating to one cause, but it's to be able to help everybody. So you ask them, if you did have the funding or whatever, right? How much more would you donate to other causes so that you can help people? And how would that make you feel? So you create an emotional tie down.
How would we be able to get these inner city kids that are growing up into poverty to be able to get the right education to end that poverty if we don't have people like you donating to be able to do that?
Uh-oh, I got the bums, wait. Did that work?
There's a lot more to that, Sean. Hopefully you're on tomorrow, because you're going to learn a lot more. Hopefully you can get into one of our training programs, because we like a surface there, but you're solving an emotional need. So we've got to wrap your questions around that, and selling that would be very simple. Let's just put it that way. Hopefully that helps you.
Yeah, significantly. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Sean. Bye. I'm gonna remove you.
Okay, let me pick another question. I want to pick one. My turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we got like 50 in here. I'm like, damn, how are we gonna get to all 50 in the next 20 minutes? I'll even go
Life
500.
insurance.
I'll
Life
go to
insurance,
500.
Jeremy.
Okay, so Eduardo says he sells life insurance sales, but I don't know what his question. Let's bring Eduardo out because I don't know what his question is.
Sorry, which one? Once again, Jeremy.
Eduardo Chavez says he sells life
Eduardo.
insurance
Eduardo.
sales, but I don't know what his question is.
It's coming. It's
But,
coming.
you know, I just did a whole training event. We have a huge financial
Eduardo,
service,
are you
life
there?
insurance.
I'm
you there,
here.
brother?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. How you doing, brother? How you feeling?
Dude, I'm feeling amazing. Thank you guys for putting this on.
Yeah. All right.
Have
So
you got
Eduardo,
bored
you
so
tell-
far?
Yeah.
Eduardo?
Yeah, so I'm transitioning from in-home life insurance sales to over the phone.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I've been getting was, you know, the fact that they have coverage through their work, which is a coverage that they don't own. You know, it's their company owns it. And my job is to get them a private, you know, personal plan to cover their assets and, you know, leave money behind to their families. So that's my biggest effect.
Time out. But don't they, okay, but I'm missing the link here. Aren't they responding or filling out some type of ad
Yes.
for someone to call them?
Yes.
Okay, so that means that they what? They have some type of problem. Otherwise, they wouldn't fill that out. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, can I hear your first call approach? Like, can I be the prospect and answer the phone and you just do what you do? Don't be nervous.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, this is the minor residence.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah, hello. Who's this?
Jeremy, this is Eddie. Just giving you a call back here from the Mortgage Protection Program. We received a postcard that was sent back to the mail for the Chase Loan Bank on 123 Main Street. Does that sound familiar?
Not really.
No, it was written out by hand, Jeremy. Real quick, the purpose of my call was just to get the information out to you. Just wanted to know, due to COVID, we are doing everything safely over the phone. So just wanted to know if you had 15 minutes now, or if it was better to schedule a call either later today or tomorrow.
Okay, stop. Okay, Marco.
Pause it right there. Yeah, pause it right there.
Pause right there. Marco, your thoughts.
Okay, so how much space and that's constructive panel, right? Eduardo,
Mhm.
how much space do you feel you gave him to actually make sure that he understand where you're coming from, why you're there, and what's happening?
I think I probably confused them more.
You see, because you just been talking, right?
Yeah.
So what's the let's talk about this because it's important for everybody. What's the outcome of what you're trying to do on the start?
The end result would be to get them approved for the covers that they requested.
Now, hold on. I
Fantastic.
want to ask you a question or two, Marco. If you
Mhm.
mind. So, do you already know these people already have insurance through their company when you call them?
No, that's what I find out through their situation.
Okay, but do all of them? Is that all of them situation or just some?
The ones that I've been losing were to them being feel safe with the coverage that they currently have right now that they're paying so little
But
for.
they did fill out a form requesting more. So there's obviously something missing there. Okay. Hey, is this John?
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
John, this is just Jeremy Miner with XYZ agency. It looks like you had responded to an ad. You filled out a form maybe a week ago, like some type of mailer about possibly looking at some different insurance quotes, like mortgage protection compared to what you already have. And I just had time to get back to you to see if we could help. Is this an appropriate time?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I should probably start off by asking you, have you found what you're looking for, or are you still possibly looking for extra coverage possibly?
I'm still looking for the coverage.
Yeah, okay, but do you know what you're looking for?
Yeah, the protection cover my mortgage if I died.
Okay. And what were you, besides just the mortgage stuff that you were looking, if you died, because, maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. What were you hoping to get out of the call with us today, just so I have a better understanding?
Just something that fits the budget that would that would take care of that for me and my family.
Okay, and can you walk me through, like, if you pass away tomorrow, like what type of policies, insurance, investments do you have now that would actually pay for your home and your family, like if you passed away? Can you walk me through that? Stop. That would be like your first situation question.
Okay.
Okay, now, can anybody tell me what the difference was there? Eduardo, in your mind, what was the difference?
It was very guided conversation.
Yeah.
Didn't feel any pressure at all. And you got me to think, right before I was going to answer, it was, what I currently have, but
Yeah,
was
when you
definitely a lot
say,
smoother.
when you say the reason why I called you today was, sir, that you got to get rid of saying that, because every salesperson that calls them every day selling vacuum
Mhm.
cleaners, selling alarms, selling solar, selling life insurance, selling phones, selling this, they all say the reason why I called you today. So you're using words that trigger sales
Right.
resistance that every salesperson uses. Do you see what I mean? We have to
Absolutely.
avoid words like, I'm just following up with you. That's another triggered word that everybody says when they're selling. The reason why I called you was, you got to, those type of words like trigger sales resistance. So I want to avoid those. We're going to teach you all that stuff in the virtual training platform, but does that help?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Appreciate you guys.
Can I give you something, Eduardo? That
Please.
tomorrow morning, because tomorrow morning before, let's say if you come into day 3, but
Is he going to
gotta
come
come,
to
man.
day 3?
you gotta come, man.
I'm assuming he would be, unless he wants to keep losing more sales.
I'd miss the birth of my children for day 3, Jeremy.
Good man.
No,
Just kidding.
That's going to help your children. I can promise you that.
Thank you.
I want to give you one thing. Tomorrow morning when you're doing your calls that you can get rid of, you saying this, right? You asking them a time commitment of 15
Mhm.
minutes, which it
Correct.
boxes you. It puts you into a corner. You know why? Because if it takes you 16 or 17, there you are entitled to leave. Rather, ask them if it's appropriate to ask a couple of questions just for see if you can help them out.
Mm,
Yeah, Marco's 100% right. If I said, is this an appropriate time? I don't need to say, do you have 15 minutes or 20? Because then you're put in a box, because let's say he thinks he only has 10, but because of my conversation and my questioning ability, I guarantee he's going to lose track of time, because he's going to start worrying about his problems. And this becomes more interesting. He starts moving things back because you're
Right.
there. And it's far more interesting. You never want to box yourself in like, hey, do you have 60 minutes to talk now for our scheduled call? Never say that. They're the ones that book that time if it's an inbound lead. Now you do outbound leads. So it's the same, is this an appropriate time? Okay, I should probably start by asking, have you found what you're looking for? Or are you still looking for, possible, more life insurance policies are you still possibly looking for more coverage in your insurance in case something happens? I'm feeding that benefit. Now, I always want to ask that because I want to come across as unbiased. I've literally, when I called outbound leads in my career, I probably would have 1 out of like 1,000 that would say, oh, I found what I'm looking for. Okay,
Right.
literally nobody says that because they just responded, all right? And if they did already find something and signed up, I want to know about it, right? So I don't waste my time, okay? But it shows that you're unbiased, that, if they've already found something, you can't help them, right? So it triggers them to be disarmed. We have to learn how to disarm our prospects. Remember, we talked about day number 1, we got to follow the ABDs of selling. Always be disarming throughout the entire conversation. If we don't know the questions to do that, skepticism comes up, lack of trust, objection, sales resistance. I'd rather just have the prospect, like we teach our clients, really not hardly have any objections. It's just a lot easier to sell. Way more sales too.
Love it.
Okay. Thank you, Eduardo. You're a legend.
That's a good one.
Yeah, brother.
Appreciate you guys. Life changing.
Okay. We got Jeremy. We got 6 minutes.
We got 6-7 minutes.
What
man.
should we do? We should the last one on? The last
Hold
person?
on. I'm going to look through here. There's a bunch of questions. I want to answer one that I think is going to help the most people on here. Okay. Cause there's like 50, with 50 questions, geez, we've done probably 5 hours. I gotta prepare for tomorrow, guys. Let's see here.
Can we do a car salesman? Because Jeremy is the man for car sales.
Well, we train every industry, but
let's say that.
Hold on. Let's see. There's so many questions here. Okay, we got the nonprofit from Sean. That was a good one. Okay, I'm not understanding. There's one from an Alex Santarelli. Like, what problem do you solve selling milk? Bring him on here because I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Milk.
I'm assuming he's selling milk to like a supplier or grocery chain or something. I'm assuming he's not selling like a carton of milk door to door. Like, I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Okay, I think it's Jusum.
No,
He
it's
sells milk.
Alex Santarelli. What problem do you solve selling milk? Which
No,
is more,
no, it's not me. It's someone else. Okay.
which is more risky? You continue.
There you go. We get you on, brother. Just wait a second.
Is he on? Yeah, bring him on because I don't know what he's talking about. It's Alex Santarelli.
No, it's Alex is saying in the chat that it's not him.
Oh, it's somebody else.
Yeah,
An alias. Okay.
he was
Let-
responding to another man. All right. Thanks, guys, from the chat. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, how you doing?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, is there any feedback? Because I'm using the speaker right now. Just 1 second, I plug in my headphone. It's a bit better than for you. Just
You gotta
1
do fast,
second.
brother.
Go. 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes, brother.
Countdown.
Yeah, I got it now. Yeah, I sell like milkman subscription door to door. So I just wondering what kind of value could I bring? Because it's just
Whoa,
fresher
whoa,
and more expensive.
Whoa. Okay. So you just calm down. So you
Yep,
sell
yep.
milk door to door.
Yep.
Is it like is it quantity of milk? Is it fresher milk? Is it more organic? Is it like what problem do you solve?
It's just fresher milk, and we have like online app. You can just make changes. So
Okay,
back in the
but what
days,
does
yeah.
your fresh milk solve? Like if they don't have fresh milk, what potential problems could they have?
I don't know.
You gotta know these. You gotta know.
Expired.
Okay. So your organic fresh
Yeah.
milk, I'm
It's not
assuming,
organic.
okay, but it's fresh milk. I'm
Yeah.
assuming solves some type of problem. Whereas if they go to the grocery store and buy milk that has chemicals in it,
Yep.
probably there's some health issues there, right?
Yep.
Well, what are you exploring them in the conversation to help them realize that by continue drinking the store-bought milk could cause what problems for them?
I see. The other big selling point of the company is like helping the local farms and saving the environment because it's all like non-plastic. But
That is
does it
not
help?
that's not solving a problem.
Brother.
That's just your
yeah,
business.
exactly. Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
Can I make a suggestion? All right.
Yeah.
So you thinking a lot about feature and benefit,
Yep.
right? Yours features and benefit. You don't sell features and benefit. I'm telling you that. You sell fixing problems. So you need to understand if there is a problem to solve on the other side. And I can tell you straight away, we have something into the NEPQ, which is called consequence question, right? It's probably the best question that I ever learned in sales, which is like, is what if you don't change, right? So when I use that question, what I plug into the question is what kind of problem my prospect has, so I can amplify that, right? Your prospect right now has a problem. You need to understand what you're selling and why you're selling it. So I'm
You need
telling
to
you,
understand what you solve.
yeah, understand what you solve. And what you solve is this one, is you giving fresh milk that has a cause, which is fine. Nobody cares about the cause of the milk at the moment. But
Nobody.
is-
Let's stop there, Marco, because I know where you're going here. Nobody cares about helping local farmers, saving the environment. That has most people that doesn't impact them on a day-to-day life. You have to understand how your fresh milk solves their problems. Like, what are the consequences if they keep buying store-bought milk that has all the chemicals in it for their health? Keep going, Marco.
Mhm. There you go. You got that. So it's like, what are the possible ramification if your kids or someone in your family keep drinking that milk that has chemical inside the, God forbid, we don't know where it comes from. What we're gonna do then?
Yeah, so it's about your situation, which is okay. And can you walk me through like what type of milk do you in the family typically drink? Because maybe you don't even need us at all. Oh, well, we drink this type of milk and blah 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 blah. Okay, and are you like when you read the back when you buy it at the grocery store, like specifically like what type of chemicals are in that milk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. What do you mean by chemicals? Okay. So geez, we're out of time. But what
Yeah.
you need to do, Alex, is you need to understand the problems that your fresh milk solves compared to them going to the grocery store and just buying milk that has chemicals in it. So you solve that problem for their health, because what happens? Okay, but what are the consequences if you have your kids keep drinking the milk that has the chemicals in it? Like, what could potentially happen to them in the next 5 or 10 years? It'd probably be more dialed into that, but I'm just giving you an example. Okay. But you have to take it, you can't ask that question right on the door. You have to take them through a process where they open up and start to realize that the milk that they've been drinking their entire life, that they never thought twice about reading the label, could be potentially going to cause them major health challenges and premature death if they don't start drinking milk that doesn't have that chemical in it. You can't tell them that. You have to ask them those questions that allow them to tell themselves. Does that help?
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. I will do some research about that. That's because no one mentioned that in the company. Everyone just talking about the environment.
Hey, look, I want to make sure you understand, people. Do not rely on your companies to learn advanced selling skills. You are going to kill yourself.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Learning
here.
skills. You need to, I would suggest you learn skills from people who actually know what they're talking about. If I had taken the company's advice when I first got into sales, guess what? I wouldn't be here with you today. I'd be broke. Period.
It's actually true.
Period.
Okay.
None of you would be here.
Jeremy,
Marco would be here.
we got
All right,
time. We gotta
perfect.
go. We
We're going to go. Just going to remind everybody, make sure you're on the Zoom
Oh,
link.
God.
We are not going live. We're not going live in the Facebook group tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for the last day of the 3-day challenge. We're going to break down the entire sales process, why your sales structure and script you're using is triggering sales resistance. And we're going to show you to tweak that. And we're going to take you through the NEPQ process, from connecting questions to situation questions, to problem awareness, to solution awareness, to consequence, to how to transition into your presentation, how to get your presentations to emotionally connect with your prospects' problems, to getting them results. And we're going to show you to commit them to take the next step and purchase what you're offering to solve their problems. I can assure you, you don't want to miss tomorrow unless you just don't want to learn how to sell more. That'd be the only reason. Okay. So we will make sure you check your email for the link. It's already been emailed out to you. It'll be emailed out to you in the morning for tomorrow's, I think it's a new Zoom link for tomorrow's challenge at 3 p.m. Eastern. And we will also pin it at the top of the Facebook group, the Zoom link as well. Marco, any last words?
No, say thanks, Jeremy. Thanks to everybody. You guys, thanks for everybody that came. And we don't do those sessions often. We do it more with the guys inside the program that we have.
Yeah.
The inner circle, the 3.0.
Yeah. Hey, somebody, you're
thanks for
asking if
coming
the
in.
recording of this is going to be sent out to them.
Yeah.
Are we sending them
Yeah,
recording?
email.
We will.
Yeah, we'll send this recording, guys. You just gotta give us at least 24 hours to 48 hours, because I want to make sure that you guys all get it, and it's been an intense in 3 days, so we gotta get it out in 48 hours.
Adam just enrolled in NEPQ Advanced 3.0. Well done, dude. You are
Let's
going
go, Adam. Good
crush
job,
it.
brother.
Wait till he gets in that Facebook group where there are hundreds of testimonials from those clients. Like he will go crazy on it. Awesome. Congratulations, Adam. Well done. You're going to be a savage from now on. You're going to make a lot of money, help a lot of people solve their problems. That's the most important thing. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. I got to go to bed. See you.
Bye.